Edge couldn't do it. Daniel Bryan couldn't do it. Cesaro, the Swiss Superman himself, was not able to get the job done. Now the question is not who's next, but who is the one? Who is going to be the one to take the WWE Universal Championship away from the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns? I'm Ricky Ucchino. Here are 5 WWE Superstars who could actually pull off the job and take down the head of the table.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Number 5, the powerhouse of positivity, Big E. Now, Roman Reigns has undoubtedly been the best villain in WWE over the last year. He has defeated multiple top baby faces in the last few months. We named a few of them. Kevin Owens added to that list along with Edge and Daniel Bryan. However, one man who has not come face-to-face yet with Roman Reigns is Big E. The New Day member, one of the most over superstars among the fans, and the company has given him a decent singles push recently with an Intercontinental Championship reign, although many fans widely considered Big E one of the favorites to win this year's Royal Rumble and face Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania 37. That, of course, did not happen. Big E instead fought Apollo Crews in a Nigerian drum fight and lost his championship thanks to Commander Aziz. But is E now back down on the proverbial WWE ladder, or was the title taken off of him so he could make a bigger push forward? E is still absolutely a prime candidate to have a high-profile feud with Roman Reigns later on this year, possibly leading into a title match at SummerSlam or another upcoming pay-per-view on Peacock. Now, if somebody is going to knock off Roman Reigns, it has got to be somebody with this exact profile of a Big E. He is obviously big, powerful, fast, strong, athletic. He has got everything that you want in the ring, plus he's got the charisma, he's got the mic skills, he's got everything you want out of a top star, and if and when he and Roman Reigns meet, Reigns could be that big stepping stone, that final big stepping stone that puts Big E in the main event picture. Number 4, Keith Lee. WWE Survivor Series 2019. Remember back then, Roman Reigns, he was the sole survivor for Team SmackDown, getting the victory for his brand against Raw and NXT in that men's traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Well, it may have been Reigns who stood tall at the end of that match, but the man that impressed the most that night was Keith Lee. Representing Team NXT at the time, he pinned Seth Rollins and almost got the better of Reigns before just coming up short. Following the match, Reigns showed respect to Lee in what was a true star-making moment. That visual alone of the two superstars bumping fists was enough for fans to want to see a proper feud between the two superstars. Almost 20 months later now, Roman Reigns, now the vicious heel who does not fist bump his rivals anymore, he bumps their heads with steel chairs. Lee, on the other hand, has made his way over to Raw, but has been out of action for quite some time, and we just don't know when he is going to come back. For the sake of the fantasy countdown, WWE could book Lee's return and make him jump ship to SmackDown, where he could confront the Universal Champion and challenge for the title. Reigns could ask for Lee to acknowledge him as he does all of his foes, but Lee could lay that $1 million smile down, snapping back his own demand for the Chief to bask in his glory. The brief history between these two men is enough to play into the storyline, and Keith Lee, much like Big E, is also someone who could believably overpower and take down the head of the table. Number 3, the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. The entire Roman Reigns Tribal Chief character started at SummerSlam 2020 when he returned to WWE after nearly 5 months off. The main event of that pay-per-view saw the Fiend defeat Braun Strowman to win the Universal Championship for the second time in his career. However, that victory celebration was cut extremely short, with Reigns' surprise return and the subsequent assault on both competitors in that main event. Fans were obviously shocked to see such an intense version of Roman Reigns, who beat down both the Fiend and Braun Strowman and even called the former a freak in a mask. Just 1 week later, after SummerSlam, it was Payback 2020, and Reigns took on the Fiend and Strowman in a triple threat match and pinned the Monster Among Men to win the Universal Championship. Fans expected the Fiend to continue feuding with Roman Reigns since he did not get pinned to lose that championship, but things became even more interesting when Bray Wyatt introduced a new character to the Firefly Funhouse in Wobbly Walrus, a puppet representing Paul Heyman. However, Wyatt didn't come after Reigns, and the Walrus also disappeared from the Funhouse shortly after. Maybe he was eaten by Huskus the Pig Boy, or maybe he was eaten by the continuous WWE issue of Plans Change. WWE has this amazing feud ready to go, a great storyline featuring The Fiend, who, by the way, never, ever forgets. There is a lot of motivation, a lot of revenge to be had, and I do expect at some point down the line, as long as Roman Reigns is champion, The Fiend will come calling. Number 2, the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre. While Roman Reigns rose to the top of the mountain on SmackDown last year, it was Drew McIntyre who became the top face of Monday Night Raw. Survivor Series 2020 saw these two collide. Universal Champion Roman Reigns one-on-one against the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, champion versus champion. The match felt so grand, and the two superstars absolutely delivered, telling a great story, showcasing why they're the best on their respective brands. It was one of the best matches of the year. Go ahead and yell at us in the comments, but rewatch it and you'll understand the chemistry that these two have. It was Reigns who managed to steal a victory through heelish tactics, but everyone knew this was just a little bit of a teaser of what is sure to be a future blockbuster feud. Right now, both Reigns and McIntyre are on separate brands, but that could very well change with the WWE draft not too far off in the future. Could these two behemoths meet down the line? Only time will tell, but I don't think anybody would be stunned to see McIntyre come out on top if they do. And number 1, arguably Roman Reigns' greatest rival of all time, the Beast, Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns turning heel last year has opened up a plethora of dream matches that fans want to see him in, and one of the biggest is Reigns taking on Brock Lesnar. Reigns, Lesnar, obviously massive history here. They faced each other several times, including twice at WrestleMania in the main event. However, in all of those previous encounters, it has always been babyface Roman Reigns against heel Brock Lesnar. Now, dynamics have changed completely as Reigns is no longer the good guy, he is the guy. With Lesnar being out of WWE for more than a year now, his return to the fold as fans return to the stadiums would create huge buzz. Things made even more interesting due to the fact that Lesnar's longtime advocate Paul Heyman has now joined hands with Roman Reigns. The WWE Universe cannot wait to see Brock Lesnar return and confront his advocate. Heyman's dilemma now comes down to, who do I choose, Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns? Now Heyman could ultimately betray the tribal chief and help his original client Brock Lesnar to dethrone him as the new Universal Champion, or would he trust the head of the table to protect him against his old client? While some fans might not want to see Lesnar return and again win a world championship, the possibility of WWE going forward with this angle cannot be denied as a major attraction for all to see. And that is our list this time around. Make sure to give us the old thumbs up there. Also, if you have another suggestion, feel free to throw it in the comments section. Oh, also, make sure to subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews and so much more.